I think my thoughts have been one of disappointment, really. I think that we have failed to capitalise on something that was, monumental in terms of a decision and such a change. I think on reflection we should have been much more dynamic in terms of looking at cutting perhaps taxation rates and bringing inward investment, putting a big, we're open for business sign up for Britain, looked at how we could really capitalise on deregulation and really drive things forward.
Well, first of all, I think people were sold something that they couldn't have. They were sold a dream that they couldn't have by the Brexit campaign. So I think people are disappointed in that. But, also our business is doing well because we're a logistics business working with Europe a lot. And we've invested in building a customs business to support our customers in trading with Europe, and that business is thriving. However, it's thriving at the cost of our customers, really, and their trade with the European Union, which is not as strong as it otherwise would have been. So it's good that we can help people trade with Europe when it's become more complicated, but I think my view is still it should never have become more complicated. What would we do now? Well, I'm not sure the EU would offer us the sweetheart deal that we had then. So it depends what the terms were. If it was like we can just rewind and go back to how we were, then I would vote to rejoin. But I doubt very much that that is available, and therefore I don't see the UK rejoining the EU.
I think it is too much. I think overall you have a web of bureaucracy and opinions, and what you see, or what I see more and more, is politicians, they are very concerned on trying to please everyone. They'll end up not pleasing anyone and not advancing any particular agenda before leaving ahead of the end of that term.
I don't believe that we're focusing on the things that really matter, which is what do we need in our communities, what do we need in our neighbourhoods, and what do we need for this country to really care about everyone, the vulnerable, the marginalised of all kinds. And I'm politically rootless.
People don't know how to have a modern 21st century economy. They're not prepared to make the change. The politicians haven't got the courage to do the right thing and actually move us forward. So they keep trying to do the same things that we did in the 20th century, and none of it works, so they get booted out. Of all of that generation, he is the one who can do it. But he needs to be brave. He needs to give people the honest truth. The thing is that everything has changed. Climate change, consumerism is bust. It's just destroying the planet. We can't just keep getting jobs to consume the planet. We need a whole different set of jobs. And we need to train people. We need to give them the opportunity to get new skills. And we need to encourage them more than anything. We need to encourage them. So, yeah, but that all has to happen. That's not going to be quick.
I feel like division is dreadful. I feel like Keir, popular or not, did provide stability for the country. It's felt that he was ineffective, which is a shame. However, he did achieve a fair bit. And he tried to keep everyone more or less, in a cohesive fashion. Personally, let's see what the next one brings, and let's hope that stability continues, that the economy doesn't tank, that we don't get pushed into, right-wing politics. The likes of Reform and Restore scare the hell out of me.
Brexit has, exactly as economists predicted, had a significant negative impact on the UK economy. The UK economy is clearly weaker and smaller than it would have been in the absence of Brexit. There's a lot of debate about how big that impact it is, but it is certainly several percent of GDP, several percent of our national output. So we're, broadly speaking, several percent poorer as a result of Brexit. That's not a catastrophe, and we should also remember that, of course, other European countries have also had significant economic problems over that period, but Brexit has made us less strong economically. Public opinion has shifted in the sense that there is a pretty broad consensus that Brexit has been a failure, even among people who voted for it. that does not translate into a consensus that we need to rejoin or move radically back closer. But it is still, there is probably still a majority that says in principle we should do that. However, I think it's much more complicated to see how that actually happens in practice. And when you confront people with the realities, of course, then it's much less clear. So there's there is a big shift in opinion, and there's certainly a consensus that the current situation is not where we want to be, but there's much less of a consensus, let alone a way forward for where we might go.
大家好，我是主播林家远。生活压力大，失眠、浅眠是现代人常见的烦恼。太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌现在进一步推出晚安加强版，添加天然 GABA、色氨酸、茶氨酸、香蜂草4大天然草本。选择太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌，做好日常保养，身体轻松无负担。每日克菲尔，时刻美好 ，Good Feel Good。请上快点购为健康下单，输入推荐码有额外折扣。太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌基础版、晚安加强版，新包装改版，内容不变，抽取更方便。要吃就吃最好的。